Salute WMA Universe, LDWMAC. This is your boy, the Coach Show Live on the Coach Show, the Coach Show Live. Okay, guys, I'm going to take this video in a different direction, okay? I'm going into Coachstradamus mode. Look, if Team Holm don't follow these instructions, they just stupid. They dumb, okay? I'm going to give Holm a definitive playbook. And if Holm runs this playbook, she will be victorious versus Kayla Harrison. I kid you not. She'll be victorious. Okay? She will be victorious, but Holm, they have to run the plays that I'm giving them now. If they too stupid not to run this playbook, then damn it, you deserve to get beat. Okay? Here's the playbook that I'm going to give y'all. And folks, listen, man. I know that this stuff is going to work because I've actually talked to sparring partners that they sparred with Kayla some 5 years ago. One sparring partner 4 years ago, 2 years ago, and my latest person I talked to sparred with Kayla 1 year ago. And they get so many sparring partners. They get a lot of them. But all these sparring partners had the same thing to say. They said that Kayla is extremely overly critical of herself. Now, a great athlete, they're going to be critical. Okay? All great athletes are critical of themselves. They're very critical. But Kayla Harrison has an obsessive criticism of herself. And it's actually kind of self-destructing. Like when a sparring partner gets a big up on Kayla. Okay, because you're not going to be in sparring the whole time and just whooping the sparring partner's ass, okay? They're going to have their moments. And when a sparring partner gets their moment, Kayla Harrison begins to go into a deep, deep spiral depression of self-doubt. And it's kind of crazy. And then, Kayla Harrison will snap out of it, and then she'll go and get the best of the sparring partner. Okay? That happens to her quite often. That's where she is. Because this woman, Hype Job Harrison, she don't believe in the bullshit that she be saying. She really don't believe it. And these sparring partners, they kept saying, when they got the big up on Kayla, then they start planting seeds. Then they start, S-talking to her. They start S-talking, and you know what? Believe it or not, it began to work. It began to work. They start S-talking to Kayla. After they won big up Kayla, they start S-talking her, and Kayla Harrison began to have a little self-doubt. See, they kept planting those seeds. And I'm going to tell Team Holm, if you don't listen to this, you deserve to get your ass whooped. Number one, the first thing that Team Holm needs to do, I think Holm, the first time when Kayla sees Holly at the press conference, I think Holm needs to be more physically imposing. Holm is already jacked, but now Holm needs to look a little bit stronger. Temporarily add on some muscle mass. Temporary. Because then you can lose that back off in training. Because Holm, you don't need to be pumped up. But Holm needs to look physically imposing. And I say this because when Kayla Harrison saw Larissa Pacheco for the third time, all Kayla Harrison can say was that Larissa Pacheco looked very, very strong. That's it. She didn't talk about what she's going to do in this fight. Kayla Harrison can only speak on Larissa Pacheco looking very strong. That's going to plant the first seed of doubt in Kayla Harrison's mind. It's going to plant a seed of doubt. And at that moment, Kayla Harrison knew, I don't think I'm going to win this one. She had already had so much self-doubt in that aspect. But you got to plant those seeds. The next thing you have to do, okay, we got to utilize Chris Cyborg to further plant those seeds. Kayla Harrison has a mental roadblock when it comes to Chris Cyborg. And this woman does not believe that she can beat Chris Cyborg. She don't. And Holm, they'd be a fool to not bring Chris Cyborg to the presser. Do you know and understand what could happen? It's going to throw Kayla Harrison into a mental frenzy. It's going to throw this woman into a mental frenzy. Guys, I kid you not. It's going to throw Harrison Hype Job into a frenzy. Have Chris Cyborg there at the presser with you. Have her there. Kayla Harrison will talk her junk, but see, she's not going to be confident. Plant the seeds. The next seed of doubt that you have to put in Kayla Harrison's head is physical appearance. Kayla Harrison, for all intents and purposes, she's very self-conscious of the way she looks. You see, people like Kayla, they have to be real careful about what they say in interviews. They got to be extremely careful, okay? Because if Kayla opens up about her weaknesses, people will start to exploit those weaknesses. If I can sit here and pick up on these weaknesses that this woman have, what do you think everybody else that's trying to see Kayla Harrison lose, or her opponents, what do you think they can do? And if y'all noticing something, guys, I'm suggesting Holm do an all-out mental assault on Kayla Harrison. Hell, even get savage, throw a bikini on and say, Kayla, can you look this good in a bikini? And turn. You know what that's doing? Now you planted the seed of self-image. You planted that seed of low self-image. You put that in her head. You turn. Kayla, can you look this good in a bikini? Now, people will call that like that's bad and that's not in Holly's character and Holly would never do that. You know what? It's a fight. Do you want to win the fight? Okay? Do you want to win the fight? Or do you just want to skate by? Or do you want to get beat up? This is a dangerous fight for Holly Holm. You got to take out all the stops. And there's nothing illegal about what she's doing, okay, or what I'm suggesting. But you got to plant these seeds of doubt. You have to plant the seeds. If you don't plant these seeds, if you don't plant them, okay, Kayla Harrison is going to try to act like her old bullying self. Another thing that they can do, show some training footage, but actually show Holly Holm getting the best of Cyborg. Stage it, because we know that can never really happen. Show Holly Holm getting the best of Cyborg. Post it. And you know damn well Kayla Harrison gonna look at it. You know she gonna look at it. You know that she's going to go and look at that footage. See, y'all, listen. Kayla Harrison isn't that hard to figure out. The way you beat Kayla is mentally, and I saw it. I saw it when she fought Pacheco. Larissa Pacheco had won the mental edge against Kayla. And then with Pacheco, pretty much planted that seed of self-doubt. Now, Pacheco couldn't really plant the seed of low self-image. Couldn't do that, okay? That's not going to work for Pacheco. And moreover, many of us don't want to see her in a damn bikini. I know I don't, okay? However, the other seeds that Pacheco planted, she planted those seeds. She came in looking more physically dominating. She came in with that, she planted that seed of doubt. Larissa Pacheco was posting video footage on a regular, and you know that Kayla Harrison was watching the footage, because that's what she do. That's what she do. Kayla Harrison is a troll. Okay, she trolled Chris Cyborg for years. Trolled her. And I think Chris had to block her because, it's funny, man. Chris Cyborg blocked me? Well, because you knew you wasn't going to fight her. And Chris Cyborg knew that you wasn't going to make the fight. So what's the use in sitting here listening to all your BS? So I think Chris blocked her ass. I think that's how I remember it. But anyway, okay? Larissa Pacheco planted those seeds. You have to do that. You can't beat Kayla physically. That's not really going to happen because her cardio for a big girl is pretty amazing. If I say one great thing about Kayla Harrison, for a woman with all that muscle mass, man, she got some serious cardio. Even in round 5, she was still effective, okay? Not as effective as she was in round 1, but I tell you what, my God, the girl was still trucking that big body and still making that body do stuff. Like, it's just insane, man. Like, how much of an athlete and how much of a better fighter she could have been. Kayla Harrison could have been a much, 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 much better fighter if she just would have tested herself early on in her career. Then, see, we wouldn't be having these conversations. But anyway, okay, you beat Kayla mentally. You can't beat her physically, okay? You can't do that. Like, she's physically imposing. And that's the one thing that she's confident in, her strength and physicality. See, that's her confidence. But if you plant that seed, hey, I'm stronger than you. See, Kayla Harrison is going to start having doubt. And it's got to be an assault on Kayla Harrison's mental almost every week. It has to be. And I noticed when I was watching the build-up to the Pacheco fight, Pacheco isn't some great internet genius, okay? However, her team, they did a pretty good job of taking these little stabs at Kayla Harrison. Small stabs here and there, but just enough to continue to plant these seeds of doubt. You have to keep planting them and planting them and planting them. And then by the time it's fight night, well, those seeds have grown. You've watered those seeds. You watered the seeds, and they've grown. And they've reached full fruition. That's what you got to get. That's how you got to do, Kayla. And also, my last thing is this, that Larissa Pacheco didn't have this advantage. You put Chris Cyborg in the corner. You put Chris Cyborg in that damn corner, okay? And then when they walk out, you have Kayla Harrison, Chris Cyborg, Holly Holm. You have them all coming to the center of the octagon to face off. You have them all doing that. And Holly Holm, that will complete the trifecta. That will complete her dismantling Kayla Harrison mentally. Could you imagine you got to fight Holly Holm, but Chris Cyborg is in your face coming out to the center ring, coming out to the center of the octagon with Holly Holm in the first round to do the referee greetings? Like, could you imagine the level of anxiety Kayla Harrison is going to have if Chris Cyborg were to do that? I think Team Holly Holm, they need to think about this. They really need to think about doing this because you want the mental advantage. You got to attack Kayla Harrison from a physicality standpoint. You got to make her think you're stronger, okay? You've got to make her think that you're better looking, okay, which that's not going to be hard to do. Okay, you've got to plant the seed of doubt. You got to make her think that you're doing these great things. You got to make her think she's just beating Cyborg up in sparring. Okay, then you've got to bring Chris Cyborg out to the center of the octagon. That's it. You got to do it. And let Chris Cyborg stare into Kayla Harrison's soul. Because Kayla Harrison won't be looking at Holly Holm. She's going to be looking at Chris Cyborg. I promise you that. She's going to be worried about Cyborg. And all alone, Chris Cyborg is going to be thinking, I want to punch you in your face. And Kayla Harrison is going to be thinking, man, I'm glad I don't have to fight Chris Cyborg. I'm glad I don't have to fight Cyborg. She's going to have a lot of anxiety. That's what you do to a person like Kayla. With her mental fragility, you have to do that to her. You've got to break this girl mentally. You got to break her. See, Pacheco was able to do that. Holly Holm got more weapons in her disposal to break Kayla Harrison mentally. Folks, it's not even that difficult. It's just going to take a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of work to make it happen.